Today we have another remarkably stupid idea for your consumption. And it involves that little guy. And all of his family members, because every time we build 2 extra planks onto our raft, we're gonna add an extra shark. I don't know why we thought this was a good idea, but here we are. We've already picked up enough leaves to make a couple ropes, which means I can make a building hammer, which means I can start adding foundations. I'm just enjoying this peacefulness while it lasts, because as soon as I start building on this raft, things are gonna go sideways. I guess they always do, no matter what we're doing. Well, I already need a little bit more space side to side, that way I can more easily grab more stuff. But that also added 1 more shark, so we're 100% extra sharks already. And I'm hardly equipped to deal with the waves at this point. But the ocean so far is nice and full of garbage, so that makes me feel better. I can actually get a lot of resources before I need to make my raft too big. But I'm also going to use some of these leaves to make more rope right away, because one of the things I'm going to need a lot of are spears. Because I suspect this is going to turn into Shark Stabbing Simulator fairly quickly. 1 spear, and we're going to put that somewhere up there on the hotbar where it's easy to grab. I really want this barrel, so we're going to go out here and grab it and see if we can spot the sharks while we're out here. Well, there's one of them. We've got enough resources, I feel comfortable enough to add a few more of those, so there should be 3 sharks out there in the water. Luckily, we quickly crashed into our first island, and that at least is unsinkable to the sharks. So we can gather a few easy resources, and they should only take a few minor bites. There we go. For the first time we can see 2 of the sharks at once. I'm not sure where the 3rd one currently is. I think I found him. I've got my hook out in the water. Can you not? So we now need to replace that, and it's stuck in land. I also want to build a sail. We have the planks. We need 7 palm leaves and scrap. We do have some scrap down there, but we also have approximately 3 sharks trying to kill me every time I touch the water. So we'll see how this goes. I do have the island here somewhat to protect me. If they get to the other side of the island, they can't really get to me, but when they swarm me like that, we have at least double, maybe triple the sharks. But already this is just a lot harder than it has to be, and there's, I believe, only 2 sharks currently because they ate part of the raft. But I can't give up on this easy scrap that easily. I'll fight the sharks for a second. And I'm also going to sacrifice a few of my materials for a paddle right away, just in case we need to practice our emergency maneuvers and get away from a spot in a hurry. I do have the advantage of my tools not having any durability today, so I can use these endlessly to steer through all the garbage. The paddle does actually make me pretty quick at this point, which means I can get to the big crate of stuff. I can already hear a shark eating more of my stuff, but I'm determined to get this crate that I couldn't reach. When I still couldn't reach it, I'm just going to brave the sharks for a second, because while they're dangerous, they're not that bad yet. But with this little leaf, that should give me what I need to make a singular sail. I'm going to put that right there because the sharks will be able to destroy this if they get close enough to eat the floor under it. To solve that little problem, we're going to insulate it as much as we can, then we're going to open that sail and let the speed flow. I don't know which way the wind is going because I don't have a streamer now, but this will at least help get us closer to some of the more important stuff so we can get better spears and a bigger raft. Maybe even an armored raft. Well, I have enough for 1 more foundation for now, so that should be mostly be safe. Okay, we're going to stop him right away. Get off my raft. How many hits do you take? And we got to spend a bit of wood repairing that, and that's going to be a recurring theme. We're going to need a lot of wood today. I'm going to make extra nails right now, because if I add a couple planks to that, we can make a streamer, then I can see which direction the wind is actually going. It's actually really annoying working on a raft this small, because I constantly can't see past my sail, so I have no idea what I'm doing or where I'm going. I just can't really build that many more planks yet, because the sharks are going to multiply rapidly. Alright, finally got what we made for a streamer, so if we put that whatever there, now we can see which way the wind's actually going and make for maximum speed for maximum resources. There's a lot of sharks in the water, but so far they haven't been too aggressive. We're going to go ahead and park on this guy's little raft for a sec to steal whatever treasure he had. Okay, never mind, we sunk it in a hurry and I didn't really get what was there. Wow, the water is really dangerous when there's that many sharks. Oh, this is what I wanted. A recipe for coconut beet. Exactly what I wanted. I think we earned ourselves a little more foundation. We have speed on our side. We're going entirely the wrong way with our sail. Every time I look at the water, there's a shark, and I keep thinking they're about to bite the boat. Okay, I'm going to insulate my sail a little bit more, because so far it's the most important part of my boat. I think I just added 4 foundations, so that should be an extra 2 sharks, and there's already a lot of them down there. Found one. Eventually, I'm probably just going to have to try and build faster than they're destroying the raft. It's probably going to be the only conceivable way to do this. I've also given myself all recipes because I probably want to make things like collection nets that are going to help, probably. That also gives us the potential for better spears, though we definitely don't have that kind of stuff yet, and this is going to get really annoying really quick. We have a 2-for-1 deal. Well, I guess they get that one. Good job, idiots. There's one less shark in the world. All this time has passed, I've only found 15 palm leaves, which is enough for about 1.5 simple collection nets, so that's not going to work. So for the sake of actually progressing this along, I'm going to give myself a few collection nets because the sharks are constantly going to eat them anyway. And it's really at about that point now that I'm going to have to be fighting sharks more than gathering materials anyway. So this way I just need to worry about them not eating the collection nets while steering around trying to get into the debris fields. I was waiting for someone to finally bite it. Don't take that, actually. I need that for collection nets. We might be in trouble already. There's currently 3 sharks biting the boat. And that one's, well, you know what? They win that round. Okay, we don't want to be in the water. There's a lot of sharks down there. I didn't realize how many there were already. I thought I'd be able to be in the water for a second, but I was wrong. So we're able to gather some resources automatically, but those sharks are eating a lot of the raft fairly quickly, so that might be a concern. Just for now, I guess we're going to try and build faster than they're eating it, because currently the ratio exists where they're not eating it faster than I'm building it, so that ratio should hopefully maintain for a while. But I'm not sure I'm thinking that through very properly because I'm very busy trying not to have my raft be torn apart by a million sharks. And if I make the raft too big, I'm not going to be able to get to them in time, and then they're going to get away with eating it anyway. Does anyone else want to bite while they're in the neighborhood? I think instead of repairing, I'm better off just building more like around the broken spots, because they're not likely to bite this one. They're probably going to bite one of these. My goal today is to try and outsmart sharks, and so far I'm losing. And every time I turn around to look at something new, there's a new shark biting the raft. Eventually they will die, which will take them away for a second, but then there's 10 other ones willing to just take their place anyway. We're getting some stormy seas, but we're getting into a nice debris field. It's been hard to keep up on collecting things because I've been stabbing sharks nonstop. The waves really help to emphasize how many sharks are out there. Once they go through the waves, you suddenly see them all floating above the water. I need to remember to build in 2 layers. That way the shark will likely bite there, not there, thus destroying my new collection nets. Because despite what this idea might suggest, I am capable of some kind of forward thinking. I can just never get a moment to relax. Oh good, you're gonna finish that one off, aren't you? Oh, what is happening? What is happening? I didn't know they could eat the collection nets. Don't eat that. I need that. This is not going well so far. Okay, great. I was just thinking I wanted to lose half of my raft. Well, I was able to afford 1 piece back. The next spear takes metal ingots and bolts, neither of which I have, neither of which I'm going to be able to find super easily. Oh, that's not good. Oh, well, not only does he bite me, he's also destroying my raft. So because this is seemingly going to be quite a problem, I'm just going to go ahead and give myself a slightly better spear. That way I at least have some chance of fending them off. And while we're at it, we're going to go investigate this thing because we'll gather some materials there. I feel a little better now that I have a slightly better spear. Actually, in this thing, I just found some bolts and hinges anyway. I didn't realize I could spawn on there along with that little guy. So I just gave myself this spear, but I could have legitimately made it anyway, so I feel less cheatery now. I'm also going to replace this around my precious sail. I really can't have the sharks eating that part. How many hits does it take to get rid of you? 3? It's seemed like 3. Stop eating those. Okay, at least give me the wood out of it. I don't really care if you take it anymore. I don't know what to do anymore. Stop eating my raft. Yeah, this is fine. I've been through worse. Just as long as they don't take my sail. This is my moral victory. It's the only kind I'm gonna get. There was 3 of them. Are you kidding? Oh, yeah, okay, this is going well. I can see this totally working. It's like playing whack-a-mole. You just, every time I stab one, there's like 8 more eating my raft. And they've all like teamed up. They've outsmarted me because they all attack at the same time. Oh, that might be full of loot. I wasn't sure I could find that yet, but I did turn the whole story unlock thing on with the hopes that I could find things like that. Can you stop? For 1 second, I'm speaking. I'm finding plastic way too slowly. Planks are alright. I apparently have 51 planks. Not entirely sure we found all those, but plastic is very hard to come by. Usually by the time I even find one, I've got 85 sharks eating various pieces of my raft. And I can't turn around for 2 seconds before something is eating, and I think the next wave of attacks has started. Alright, well, he gets that one. This one's gonna die, and now where's the rest of the sharks? Okay, I have unlimited collection nets. Let's just settle that now. Unlimited collection nets, because I would never ever be able to make those. And to have any chance at all of just having a raft, I need those. We had a few small missteps. Whatever the case, we found this thing. We've got lots of crap. Yeah, now that we finally have a little bit of a surplus of materials, we'll be able to actually get this raft going again. I don't know how many sharks there are at this point. Divide the raft by 2. We're headed back out to uncharted territory. And while we do, let's make the raft a little wider so we miss even less garbage. That will definitely also conjure more sharks, but that's kind of the point. If we jump in, we can see how many there are currently. Gotta do this fairly quickly. Yeah, there's a lot out there. Wow. So it looks like I probably shouldn't fall in the water anymore. The sharks kill me in an instant because 7 of them can attack me in a moment. And let's see how much worse we can make it. I do get a beautiful moment of peace every time I load in because I think the sharks attack on a cycle. So they're not going to attack for another minute or 2, but then they're all going to attack. But that'll give me a time to add a few things to my raft that's going to make it even better. Like a beautiful engine that's going to give us a little bit more speed. The faster we go, the closer we are to outrunning the sharks, but more importantly, the more debris we're going to find so we can outbuild the sharks. And I should probably somewhat protect my little investment. Look at all the debris we're going to get now. I also gave myself a steering wheel. I'm just going to place that there for now because as long as we're going towards the debris field, we're pretty wide. We're fairly consistently getting lots of stuff now. But I'm also definitely getting pretty worried about the next wave of shark attacks because there's going to be a lot of them. So I'm really just trying to build a lot so they can have a few bites. Definitely appreciate every one of these because they're full of all sorts of stuff. Maybe we should start building on that side of the collector nets too. That way the sharks probably won't bite the collection nets as much. This all still feels way too slow. Like we're getting materials, but the next shark attack wave is coming any second now. Okay, it's feeding time and there's going to be a lot of sharks all over my raft. I don't even know what to do with this. Yeah, you guys can have it. You earned it, I guess. Yeah, cool. You guys enjoy. At least some of them are overlapping. I'm going to try and save what I can because if I can poke a few of them off, that's actually pretty good savings. Wow, they ate a lot of raft. Hey, and they're still going. I wonder if I could just like build around the shark. I can trap him on the raft maybe. I repaired some of the damage, but not all of it, and they're going to attack again before long. But at least they're thoughtful enough to double up. We get like 3 or 4 on a single foundation sometimes, so that's fine. And we have a lone gunman here who's decided to break the trend and do it all by himself. He was not successful. The very hungry morons just never give up. The raft is getting so big that I didn't even hear that one. Hey, look at that. There's jellyfish. Well, I think we determined that we can more or less survive with this many sharks, as many as we can build because they double up on planks, even though these guys annoyingly strike out of nowhere. Get off my raft. Take your mouth elsewhere. So let's just make the raft enormously big at this point to watch all the sharks spawn. And I feel like it's probably about feeding time again at the increasing frequency of moron attacks. So I've topped myself up just a little bit on plastic and planks, so we're going to expand the size of the raft, therefore summoning more sharks into existence. You can never have too many sharks. Also, my engine is starting to struggle because the raft is getting too big, but we don't need engines where we're going. I didn't realize till now how big the raft was getting. No wonder we're seeing so many sharks. We're going to go ahead and try and steer around this island. Luckily, it's a very maneuverable raft. Also, now is the first time that I actually feel like adequately rafted, that the sharks can come and eat a whole bunch and I'll be perfectly okay with it. We're starting to get some wavy weather again, and you're really starting to be able to see all the sharks in the water. There are a lot of them. This raft is going to be in trouble. I think it's beginning. There's at least 2, 3, 4, 5, a lot of sharks eating the boat. Don't worry, I got this under control. Maybe I just need a better spear, or an army. I probably should try the better spear. That would actually help. That was a very small wave of sharks. I'm not sure why they attacked on the half step like that. Oh, wait, I hear the sounds of shark bites. You know what? Yeah, you just go ahead and do that. I'm going to try and build around you. Can we just keep you on the raft? The game's starting to not love this somehow. Get out of the way, morons. I'm trying to build. Come on, you can do it. There you go. Was anyone counting? I didn't see how many sharks that was. I realized the key to this all was just going to be to get a better sword. So I've got a titanium sword now. This will do extra damage to the sharks. And aside from that, I'm just going to keep making it bigger. Okay, well now's a good chance to try out the sword. 1 hit. Great. So if I could swing this 1,000 times per second, we would actually be in a bit of luck. But then I also remembered I can make my tool speed quicker. I'm not sure if that refers to swords. It definitely makes the building process a lot quicker, and that's great because the game is not going to get any faster as we do this. Should probably also turn up my run speed a little bit. Made a few adjustments. I'm quicker. I'm definitely still not quick enough to defend the raft, but I'm quicker. But the point was never to defend the raft, it was just to build faster than they can eat it. And as long as I'm cheating, I can certainly accomplish that. So I think that means we need more sharks. We're currently getting 1 shark for every 2 panels. Let's just turn it up to 1 shark for every single panel. It's definitely working. We're getting the desired result. There are a lot of sharks. Alright, well we're going to go ahead and double that number. I'm not sure if that will immediately double the amount of sharks or if it's simply going to add 1 for every panel I build now. Either way, I don't really care, because by the end of this, there's going to be enough sharks that reality is going to end. The biggest challenge is don't fall in the water. This thing is going to turn into a honeycomb pretty soon because of all the sharks eating it. So far, so good. They're eating it quickly, but I'm still building faster. But we are pretty much under constant attack now in any direction we look. What do you think will happen if we throw a shark bait in the water? How many? Okay, the sharks are going to gather. There they go. Now we can count them. How many was that? Oh, what is happening? Okay, I guess maybe throwing the bait in the water attracted them all. Well, there you go. Fetch. You guys go play over there. I need you to... The bait's supposed to take the sharks away from the raft. They're eating it. Oh, there they go. Now they're going for it. Okay, count them quick. Okay, they eat the bait and then they swarm the raft. I don't know why. They just say like 1,000 of my panels. Oh, it's a build-off you want. I don't know what's happening anymore. The game is lagging. Stop eating that. Stop eating that. Also that. They're coming in. So far, so good. I think part of the problem is when I add a panel, it adds a shark. If the sharks destroy a panel, I don't think it removes a shark. So the sharks are starting to outnumber the panels quite frequently now. Wow, they really like this raft. But I'm still winning this battle, I think. I think. I had a fun idea. I decided we're going to force the sharks to not attack the raft for a minute, and then we're free to add a whole bunch of planks, therefore spawning in a whole bunch of sharks. They are, for the moment, rather peaceful. At this point, the water is basically made of sharks, but I definitely made the raft a lot bigger, and I've also doubled the number of sharks. The game is already just a touch laggy. So now there's 2 sharks for every panel instead of 1. Let's throw some bait in the water and see how much they enjoy that, and how many sharks there are. So far, lots. I've created a black hole of sharks. We should throw a few of those in. I feel like not every shark gets a bite if we do it too slow. Whoops. Oh, I didn't know we could do it that slowly. Here you guys go. You want some baits? There you go. They really only seem to want the ones that I throw a long ways, or the first one. Ah, there they go. Now they're getting it. We're going to suck them all to one side, and then we're going to try and release them all on one side. Okay, they're all getting sucked over there. That looks very strange in itself. And now they're all free to attack my raft should they want to, and it looks like they want to. Yeah, this is going to go well. Good sharks. This is just what I've always wanted. Lots of sharks eating my raft. They do tend to all bite the same panel though, so it's not nearly as destructive as you might think. Probably just means we need more sharks though. Okay, I've settled them down again. They should just finish their current attacks and then leave me alone. I'm going to expand a little bit. I just keep adding planks and the water really is made of sharks at this point. I've also just come to the realization that I really don't need to make this very big considering I can just turn the number of sharks up. So that might actually be big enough. Plus the game is already starting to lag, so we need a different shark to boat ratio. So I decided to turn it up to 5 sharks per piece, which means we have a lot of extra sharks on board. Or eating our raft is probably more accurate. There we go. No one's going hungry today. I still feel like it could be a lot more destructive. Like they're eating the raft, but they're still eating it slowly. I want it to look like a tornado tears through this thing. I mean, you can never have too many sharks on your raft, that's for sure. I don't know how many more the game is going to handle because it's getting laggy, but we'll try. This is 10 sharks per foundation, and then we're going to let them go there. And any moment now, they're going to start eating the raft. Ah, there we go. That's music to my ears. Look at all these sharks. And they're just going to keep going and going and going. The game's still actually pretty fine with this. The frame rate drops, but it's not that bad. We can make it so much worse. But this really is feasible because the sharks mostly double up on the same planks. There was like a trillion sharks and they ate like 100 panels. We've just multiplied the sharks by a factor of 5. So literally 5 times as many as we had last round. There we go. They're actually really surrounding the perimeter finally. That should help them chew way, way into the raft. They might also abort, because if one starts chewing on this and 100 others come to eat it and it disappears before they get there, they might just swim away. I'm really sad that the game hasn't broken yet, so we're really, really going to escalate. We are now adding 500 sharks for every panel we're placing along the raft. So while I've been talking, we probably just added 5,000 sharks. I think the game is really going to appreciate this. So all we gotta do is throw that in to try and get all the sharks more or less to one side. Did that make it in the water? Yep, well, good enough. And the sharks should now have the freedom to attack the boat should they want to, so any moment now, they're probably going to take a pretty big bite. Why, here they come now. There are tens of thousands of sharks in the water, and they're all attacking my raft. We're also stuck against an island, so we can't really move. They'll just keep devouring and devouring and devouring. It would actually work better if they could come into the raft. They always eat the perimeter. They get through it, but they all share the same outside pieces. So it doesn't really matter how many sharks you have, they eat at the same rate. I also just turned it up to 50,000 sharks per foundation. And at this point, it's hard to even notice the difference. There's so many sharks out there that it's just a lot. The water is basically made of sharks. But the game somehow still handles this, even though the water is literally made of sharks. I can turn on infinite health and jump into water. Okay, infinite health doesn't work when there's that many sharks, apparently. We can get a really cool effect to happen if I throw one of these right here. All the sharks will swarm there as soon as they can, and then they'll swarm onto the raft in front of me. Like they already are. This is exactly how Raft is meant to be played, though. I'm pretty sure of that. I guess they have a lot of raft to get through anyway, so they don't really need to be picky. They've got lots of food. I don't know why the game is so okay with this happening. I've set it to 50 million sharks per panel at this point. I guess that shows though, they are eating it non-stop at this point. It is actually getting chewed away like lava. I figured adding some really big waves to the mix would help us appreciate just how many sharks there are out here. There we go. Now we can get a proper look at these beautiful morons. They'll face in and out of the water. Pretty sure we just got the maximum number of sharks that can spawn. I don't know what that is, but it's a lot. And I think when you make the waves too big, they maybe can't actually attack the raft anymore because it's underneath them. But let's see if we can work them up into a frenzy. We threw some of their bait in the water. They seem to like that one. And then they're going to go for the raft after that. That's very loud in my ears. I didn't realize that they actually really chewed through my raft in no time at all. But there are 5 million of them, so what a fun idea. I have no idea why I did this. I guess why doesn't matter. The result is the only thing that does.